ఉమెన్ రిజర్వేషన్ బిల్ పాస్ అయ్యి 2 years అయిపోయింది. ఒక 3-4 yearsలో 33% రిజర్వేషన్స్ ఉమెన్కి రాబోతున్నాయి చట్టసభల్లో, ఎంపీస్లో, ఎమ్మెల్యేస్, ఎమ్మెల్సీస్లో. బట్ రియల్ గ్రాస్ రూట్ ఉమెన్ లీడర్షిప్ అనేది బిల్డప్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం ఉంది. ఇప్పటివరకు యాజ్ యూ నో వెరీ వెల్, వెనెవర్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు క్వశ్చన్ ఆఫ్ గివింగ్ టికెట్స్ టు ఉమెన్, డాటర్స్కి లేకపోతే వైఫ్లకి ఇచ్చుకుంటుంటారు. ఇండిపెండెంట్ ఉమెన్, రియల్ ఉమెన్కి అవకాశాలు చాలా తక్కువ వస్తుంటాయి. ఎక్కువ రావాలంటే ఏం చేయాలంటే యంగ్ ఏజ్లో, గ్రాస్ రూట్ లెవెల్లో, స్టూడెంట్ డేస్లో ఈ షుడ్ ఎంగేజ్ దెమ్ అనే పర్పస్తో ఒక సిరీస్ ఆఫ్ లెక్చర్స్ ప్లాన్ చేశాం. అందులో భాగంగా ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద సిరీస్ ఆఫ్ లెక్చర్స్ సెమినార్స్లో భాగంగా ఈరోజు పెట్టుకున్నాం.
వందనం వందనం సబుజనుకో, అభివందనం వందనం ప్రియజనుకో, बदले हुए गाँव को बदलाने वालों को, बदले हुए गाँव को बदलाने वालों को, वंदनम वंदनम सबुजन को, अभिवंदनम वंदनम प्रियजन को.
At the outset, I highly commend the efforts of Mr. Ramakrishna and Bhaskar Garu for arranging these deliberations. And I am grateful to the management of Horticulture College, Rajendra, represented by Dr. Jenny, Assistant Professor of the college. She teaches agriculture economics there. I am proud to say that I have recruited her in 2018 when I was Vice Chancellor of the university. I have recruited 40 assistant professors those days, direct recruitment. And people were so happy because I did it in a very transparent manner. I didn't deal to anybody. No pyravis. So only based on merit. I have done recruitment during 2018. I still remember those days as Vice Chancellor of the university where new campus was established by me in those days. I also welcome students and probably some of the teachers of Kranti College. So we are grateful to Mr. Bhaskar for that matter. Because Ramakrishna kept as a seminar, I thought originally I generally speak in Telugu, but you are all educated and students of graduation, and being a seminar on certain theme, I thought let me speak in English. It will be useful for Ramakrishna Garu also to make a write-up easily for the magazine. So for his convenience, I want to speak in English. Then secondly, generally, whenever I go as a chief guest, generally we make a general speech. Because he mentioned seminar, I thought I must prepare on the subject and jot down certain points. But somehow I realized in the midst of my preparation, because it was postponed, then I spent more time on studying this subject. So more than telling you anything, I am quite educated and enlightened when I have gone through the subject. It's a very important subject and burning issue in our society. Though Ramakrishna spoke about only political leadership, he is concerned about political women leadership. But what I felt in public life, leadership means in all the sectors. Of course, we cannot cover all the subjects, but at least I want to mention a few fields where I feel relevant. And also, I want to get into some of the basic issues. Because one is developing leadership in the women of our country is one issue. But what is the root cause of not able to develop women leaders in our country is a major concern. That's what I found. Because basically, I feel our society is unequal. We are not living in an equal society. Total world is unequal. And man and woman is a biggest inequality, not only in our country, in the entire world. It's a major differentiator. Because suppose you are moving on a road, you need not to anybody's caste, religion, region, language, anything. But once you pass through, automatically your mind recognizes here is a woman, here is a girl, or here is a boy, or he is a man. This is because we are nurtured in such a manner. We are nurtured, basically, we are all born equal, whether man or woman, except women, nature has given them reproductory capacity, except that all men and women are equal. They are supposed to be equal. But what happened in the due course of time, because everything originates from family, our religion, our culture, our social factors and economic factors, all these factors put together, we are manufacturing either a man or a woman in the society. Somebody said, we are not born as women or man, we are born as human beings. But it is what we become in the due course of time. So this fact we have to remember when we deal this topic. So inequality has become a way of life, whether it is India or entire world, it has become a way of life. You have to first accept this fact that we are living in an unequal society and we must do something. We must take action. We must strive hard to close the gender gap. Particularly a country like India, if 50% of population, if they do not really contribute for the economic growth, we are claiming we have reached the fifth position, fourth position. We are claiming that it will be third largest economy in the world. Without contribution of 50% population, our GDP cannot grow further. We cannot become number one in the world because of simple factor that entire population is not contributing to GDP of our country. It is not that women are really not contributing. There is a lot of unpaid work of women. It is not paid work because our women in our country carry what we call triple burden. A woman has to carry the family, woman has to attend to their domestic chores, and then she has to attend to work. So because of this triple burden, in fact we are not recognizing their contribution to economy. Indian economy, if you take total 100%, 63% is informal economy because most of the women, they work in agriculture sector, either are farmers or laborers, and it is contributing to 50% of GDP. Agriculture is contributing to 50% of GDP, and still their work is not recognized. They are doing a lot of unrecognized work. So whatever work they are doing, whether it's agriculture or if you take urban areas, we find a lot of domestic servants in our houses, domestic help. Then there are vegetable vendors in the street, hawkers in the street. So many women working in a different manner before our eyes, but their contribution is not recognized in terms of economic, parameters. That's why we are not able to really judge the real contribution of women in our country. So having realized that it is a reality that we are living in an unequal society, but at the same time, so wherever we are sitting now, we are here like this. Some students are there, some professors are there. They represent, our distinguished guests represent different fields, and we are all together. If you go to some of the education institutions, this side boys and that side girls. That separation is always there. And whatever situation we are seeing here now, it's not a product of charity. So many people have worked on it for centuries. Then only we have reached this position. We must salute our forefathers and foremothers who have brought this position, and on whose shoulders we are sitting here today and enjoying this. If we look into human history, the situation of women as a gender, we find it disgusting, frustrating, how women are exploited. You have studied history. We talk of kingdoms, empires, battles, wars. What happens there? If you really get into the roots of the issue, there is so much, oppression of women used to be there in those days. And from there, because of education system, because of various factors, now we have reached a certain stage that is almost like a taking off now. But basic fact, we have to remember that women's contribution to wealth in the entire world, if you measure, it is only 3%. In terms of parameters, it is only 3%. And whatever matrix you take, it is not more than 10 to 15%. 10%, the statistics is showing, maybe 15%. Sometimes it is 20%, not more than that. So that is the state of affairs and the reality we have to understand, and we have to get into the roots of the problem and strive hard. It's not an easy task. Because if you go into the deep-rooted issues in the society, the basic root cause of this inequality is patriarchy. Patriarchy means the dominance of man over woman. But patriarchy is not confined to only men. Both women and men, we all practice patriarchy. If you take our home, once a girl child is born, she is differentiated. If you get some income, you spend more money on the boy. Then, right from womb, ఆడపిల్ల పుడుతుందా మగపిల్లాడు పుడతారా? ఆడపిల్ల పుడితే she will go out. Okay? మగపిల్లాడు ఉంటే ఇంట్లోనే ఉంటాడు. So we need not give property right to girls, women. One important root cause of this, whatever situation we are seeing, is non-implementation of property, statutes. And women never question the property right at the cost of societal pressures. No girl will ask her father or demand that I am entitled for my property right. Once we cross this milestone of giving property to girl child, it will be a major revolution in Indian society. If not 50%, some part, if they start giving, somewhere some families are implementing, they are giving some property to daughters. But if you analyze, I need not mention some communities within our country, wherever property share is given to a girl, she looks very independent. Her demeanor, the way she lives is totally different. She is confident, she is financially independent. It will give the confidence and she will be on a different footing. So I find property right is one of the major problems okay, grappling our society as far as inequality is concerned. But so far, in spite of statutes, our legal luminaries are aware, so many statutes are there, but we could not make any highway. Though we say Indian woman, there is nothing like a monolithic Indian woman. It can be in the context of, say, informal or formal sectors, rural or urban areas. It can be, say, tribal area and a highly educated woman. So there are different situations and lived experiences. If you want to really discuss this equality and women leadership issue, you have to take a proper strata and discuss. Because in the elite group, whoever sitting is here, it's not a problem. They have become advocates, she has become principal, somebody has become an entrepreneur. Their situation is different. But if you go to villages, rural areas, situation is different. If you go to towns and urban areas, whatever we call middle class, their situation is different. So you have to analyze strata-wise and whatever efforts are required, we need to attend them. It's a corporate sector. I'll put forth few facts before you, because unless you have hard facts before you, you will not appreciate the status. Because the objective of this seminar, as I understand, is to see the situation, what is the present situation here. Maybe you can have a look back, take a feedback, what has happened in past, because of which we are here. And what is the way forward, and you can all think of suggestions, how to go about. In the Fortune 500 companies, as far as India is concerned, women's share is only 1.6%. This statistics quite mind-boggling. And even if you take Fortune 1000 companies, it is only 3.2%. If you take, say, in general, CEOs and MDs, it is not exceeding 4%. So this is the state of affairs as far as corporates are concerned. And even if you take NGOs, it is not crossing 20%, even in case of NGOs. So nowhere I get a feeling, if you take, say, they call C-suite, not exceeding 20%. So you take any sector, 5, 10, 15, 20, not more than that. In the politics also, it is not crossing by and large 10 to 50%. Not at all. If you take all 190 countries, how many heads of state are there? It is only 15%. We had one women prime minister, we had one women president, we had one women speaker, we had several women chief ministers. Sujata Krupalani was first chief minister, now we have one chief minister now. So 60s one CM was there, now again only one CM is there. So here and there are some few women who could reach top positions. But if you take entire scenario, it is quite discouraging, isn't it? So politically also, if you analyze, in Lok Sabha it is 14%, in Rajya Sabha 16%. All legislatures put together, it is not even 10%. Even if you take world average of parliamentarians, according to IPU data, it is only 26%. And some 2 decades back, it was not even 12%. So politically also, it's a major problem, where they are giving attention on political leadership. We find it's a very, very serious problem. We have to analyze what are the reasons because of which our women are lagging behind in political front. Before getting into political sector, just 1 or 2 points about corporate sector. Even when they join the corporate sector, 30% of women, they quit when they reach peak of their, career. Because what happens, once they enter corporate sector, 32 years they get married. They bear children. They have to take care of parents. So caregiving, house responsibility. They have to go on transfers. So many problems. So they are fitting in the middle management, even in the corporate sector. Not even 30% of women are becoming leaders in the corporate sectors. So by chance, suppose by virtue of their working hard, even if some woman reaches top position, she becomes lonely. If you take India, she becomes lonely. She has to fight with old boys club they call it. She has to fight with that. They call it one glass ceiling in corporate sector. Whenever women reach a middle management, then they call it a glass ceiling. They will not go further. And even if you go further, they will be bullied, they will be criticized, and they will be cut off. And they will quit the jobs and go. That is the situation as far as corporate sector. So, every sector has its own problems. And everywhere it's not that the situation is same. There is a lot of progress. There is a significant shift. There is a remarkable progress. But at the same time, persistent challenges are still continuing in every sector. There is no wage parity. Even if you take our heroines in films, how much they pay hero, how much they pay heroine, you can see. Not only in other sectors. Okay. And even in some of the houses, you can find out, when a woman gets salary, she gives that salary to husband or her mother-in-law, father-in-law. She will not get even one paisa. Again, husband or father-in-law, mother-in-law, they will give some money towards expenditure. So whatever they earn, it is also, she is also not entitled for entire paycheck. So very sad situations you find. In corporate sectors, as far as boards are concerned, director in the boards, recently Government of India took a decision in 2013, the amended Act, the Companies Act, and they made at least there should be one women director on the board. That's how we find some 10 to 50 of directors on the boards of corporate firms. So if you want to really do something in the corporate sector, then there has to be separate division for serious vigilance on corporate sector, and they have to pass some anti-discriminatory laws. They have to make some hiring mandate. Yes, this should be the percentage of women you have to hire. So unless it is done, like our reservation in political system, it is similar to that. Unless it is done, initiative taken by the government, so it takes a longer time. It can happen in due course because a lot of change is happening in the society. Science and technology is on the rise. So whatever situation was there 10 years back, now it is not there and it will not be there. Now we are all Gen Z, now Alpha generation is coming. So there will definitely change. But how to expedite, fasten the change is a problem before us. The adult suffrage in India, without any effort we got it, thanks to the vision of our constitution makers. I'll quote two examples. In the USA or UK or whatever major university you have, suppose you take Stanford University. After Stanford University was born, it has taken 257 years to admit a girl in the university. In the case of Cambridge, Oxford, it has taken 264 years to admit a girl. And there in the developed countries, we are calling them developed countries now, women's suffrage, adult women's suffrage, voting right, has not come at a time. Even in countries like Britain, it took a lot of time. They used to have only House of Lords, only Lords used to be there. There was no place for even women. And those Lords also came from, aristocratic community. So political systems, not only in India, entire world suffered from this major problem. There are two things. One is the right to vote, which has come readily and we are all exercising. All women are exercising. But right to stand is an issue now. Though right to vote has become materialized, right to stand, if you really analyze, even if you take all the political parties, only 9% of contesting candidates are women. There is no freedom or democracy even within the party. The politicians look at the women as only vote banks or beneficiaries, but not as a women politicians. In case of local governance, thanks to 73rd, 74th government, because of one-third reservation, we are finding 14.5 lakh women in our country who are in the local governance. But again, we made a lot of discussions on Patriarchy, Sarpanch Raj subject. But what I feel, maybe the first tenure or second tenure, the women, we may find Patriarchs or Sarpanch Raj, but over a period of time, they also get confidence. Because they sit in the seat, power seat, it matters. Ultimately, she has to sign, not her husband or father or sibling. She has to sit in the chair, she has to attend the meeting, she is part of decision making, and she has to sign. So this will bring a lot of, in fact, in the local governance, the reservation has brought very, very transformative changes. In the local governance, suppose if male sarpanch is there, they call it CCC, concrete, corruption and construction, that's all. If a woman becomes a sarpanch, she will focus on sanitation, she will focus on health, she will focus on education, creating MDC, drinking water problem for women. There will be change in the perspective. Now the women's bill is discussed about and the bill is passed, but we don't know how and when it will come into effect. Because it is linked to census, number one. Number two, delimitation. So when they will happen, how much time it takes, which government will come, which government will finally implement the bill, it's not definitely known. But it is going to bring a lot of change in the politics if one-third reservation is given in the parliaments and legislations. Because that will change the total landscape of political history of our country. Once it begins, they start asserting their rights. If you give one-third reservation, some women come in open quota, it will become 50%. I put the example of our horticulture college. There the reservation for girls is 50%. When I went there and addressed them last year, I found 80% girls only. The boys are sitting like this, behind. Then I have asked the principal, what is this? Sir, reservation is 50%, but in open quota, 30% are coming. So 80% girls we find, we are not aware of this fact. You go to any professional college, because of this reservation, girls are coming in a very huge way. The reservation is 50%, they are coming in open competition, they are competing with boys equally, and the situation will be there when 10% boys will be there in the professional colleges. So that is the scenario. In politics is public perception. Public perception that women will not be able to lead. Women are weak. Female gender is weak. So they will not be able to lead. and their ability to lead is questioned in public perception. There are so many solutions are there. Why we are getting less politicians? Even if reservation is there will be problems. Because states like AP and Telangana, money power, muscle power, okay, they play very important role in politics. Women are afraid to enter into politics wherever they are interested because they face violence. They have to face so many problems. Character assassinations. They say in employment also, it will be easy to get promotion. You know the meaning, why they are saying like that. Like that, the women are bullied, they are criticized, they are threatened, they are abused. Even if you take our films, we don't closely observe the films. If you see the recent past, all genres, let it be historical, let it be any kind of movie, you find hyper masculinity and lot of violence. You see all the series, Netflix, Prime, only crime you are finding. And heroes are so macho men. They are abusing, they are threatening heroines. Violence and aggression is glorified in our films. Even if you take blockbuster romantic films, it's mostly sexist and patriarchal. So ultimately, the root cause of entire problem, not only in our country, entire world, is patriarchy, which is practiced by all of us. I have requested Ramakrishna to get students to this meeting. Why? I have one objective. At least, anyway, we have become old. We cannot change now. Okay? So, though we discuss, we introspect, we are enlightening, we are educated, but action we take is very, very less. It will not impact. But if younger generation is enlightened about these facts, at least you nurture your children in a different manner. Okay? Don't nurture girl children like a girlish. She is a girl, she will live. I have gone to one government school in a village. Parade was there. It was girls' school. I have asked them, how many of your brothers are in private schools? 50% are for girls. Raise their hands. That's how girl children are treated. So anyway, these are the facts of our life. It is not culture. See, we think culture makes human beings. No. We make the culture. We make the religion. Religion is created by us. Religious practices are created by us. What is Kanyadan? It is against constitution. What is this? Kadwa Chowth. Kadwa Chowth. For 7 lives, she will pray that my husband should be there for 7 lives. What is this nonsense? So our traditions, our religious practices, whatever we are taking as a normal thing in our society, we have to question everything. We want to have really changed. All girls have to say that and be yourself. You have to question everything and you have to fight. But if you want to fight, you will lose a lot of privileges. You will not have reservation in the bus. Why do we need reservation in the bus only? Those 2 seats are reserved for women. Why we should have reservation? So we are having gift position, we respect. We make girls goddesses. Devi Aja, prepare the food. Prepare the food. Okay, and bear the children. So that is the goddess position. We make girls goddesses, Devi, and make them sit on the pedestal. We don't give central stage. So these are certain, facts of our lives. We don't think much about them. We don't question them. we don't apply our mind on them. So if you are really keen on women leadership in any field, not only political field, any field, you have to question patriarchy. The feminism in the direction of injustice, discrimination, violence should be thought about. Feminist means not like we imagine a girl in a jean pants, having a t-shirt and smoking a cigarette. She is not a real feminist. Mahavir Singh Bhogat. You heard about Bhogat sisters? They are wrestlers. Mahavir Singh was a wrestler. He nurtured her children in such a way that they became Bhogat sisters, wrestlers. He is a real feminist. Malala is a real feminist. So you should know who is a real feminist. What is real feminism? Feminism is not an attire, not a fashion to talk about. So you have to understand true feminism, the feminism which is in the direction of justice and anti-discrimination, we have to think of it. Thank you.
This is a time for women, especially young women, to prepare, participate and lead. Leadership begins at the grassroots. It begins at home, when parents encourage their daughters to think, question and speak. Like we often say, Ammai edivite kutumbam eduttundi. When a girl grows, an entire community grows. To every young girl here, your courage is your power. Your voice is your path. Don't wait for the world to invite you. Step forward. The nation needs your leadership. Remember another simple truth. Strong women don't wait for opportunities, they create it. It's only the time that the women at home, especially the women who are not doing jobs, can create jobs. And let me share this, sir. When we had a statistics during Corona time, and we had a lot of difficulties in teaching, some creative subjects cannot be taught during that time. And that 2 years, India made 4,000 crores by the women who had never thought of making money. They never even thought I can come out of the house and job. And everybody was house arrested. And there comes this wonderful woman with, comparing all the women like Ashtalakshmis have created jobs, have made money, they brought home, and they never went out of the house. So when situations happen, always this women power always comes out. And it's time that we have to prove. Now it's not for the country, the world will be doing. It's not for our home. This is Vasudhaiva Kutumbam. So when you come out of that shell saying that you are doing for your nation, it's for your home. It's not just you 2 kids, 2 cars, your graduation, your retirement. This is not what we were looking for. We are looking something much more, and I'm sure all these men, the great heroes, being the husbands and fathers, should rethink that my child can live even in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock on the roads of India. But don't make your dreams not come true and you keep yourself sitting in a well. By sitting in a well, you will never reach your goals. The river flows in a different format. So run like a river. కలుషితమైన ప్రతి వస్తువుని కలుపుకొని సముద్రం లాంటి అవకాశాన్ని ఆస్పైర్ చేయండి.
So the topic that was given to me was like a kind of heavy legal aspects of women's reservation. Patriarchy garu with his background, experience, knowledge, exposure has completed everything that we wanted to speak. So I only say, girls, please dream big, come out. And the women's, actually I wanted to speak on the women's reservation bill and the timelines and when it will be implemented, or is it something new that the parliament is attempting to. Let me tell you, our ancient kingdoms had many women warriors, queens who fought. Take the examples of Ahilyabai Holkar or Jhansi Lakshmibai, who carried their children behind them to fight as leaders and kings. So today this reservation bill is nothing new. We already had it, but only thing is somewhere in between we lost our path, and we are trying to rectify that, because By 2047, we are moving towards Amrit Kal and making India a developed nation. Parliament of 1952 to present Parliament, we just are not even crossing 15%. So this bill was passed, no doubt, but it takes time for implementation.
The timing is right for this conference, seminar, and I'll compliment Ramakrishna Garu for setting it up, and also thanks for inviting me. Okay, and we can talk for hours together, but only want to make 2-3 points clear. Education. My dad once told me, I have 2 sisters, 2 brothers. My father, the Vice Chancellor, he said, women must be educated. So first step is all the children, friends, whoever it is, women, you make sure they are educated in whatever way it is. They must be educated. Second, they should be economically independent. Like Parsadi was mentioning about exploitation of women, etc. Women must be economically independent. I told both my sisters, whether you work or don't work, you make money, don't make money. It's your choice. But you should be ready to take a job. I'm very proud to say both are doctorate, one in physics, one in chemistry, and my sister works in NASA, and her husband is also NASA. They are highest ranking couple in NASA, Indian couple. They are very high ranking. My other sister was a professor in Reddy College. And why I'm saying my personal experience. So please remember, whatever forum you are, your children, cousins, make sure all the women are educated, all the women are making economically independent, all the women are encouraged, including in politics.
From 1950 till now, we don't have a single Supreme Court Chief Justice. Because only just they selected out of many people, 11 up to now, from 1952, right now we are in 2027. So see how the percentage. So we are far back, sir, in all the fields compared to that. So yeah, and just like we have right now we have only one women justice in Supreme Court. That is at now less than 3%. So like that, so when you go to hierarchy of the judiciary, there is no women coming into that hierarchy, because all the people who are telling outside the boxes and all the opportunities are there for you women, but no one is encouraging to give us the judges post or the hierarchy post and all. So when it comes to all they see the we can't say it's a gender bias or something, what was going on through the generations. As our Patriarchy told that there are many babies, and I am the best example for that baby, because my parents made me married, I was at 16 I married, and that time I have a dream of becoming a doctor. So I haven't lost my hopes, and I gave birth to my first child at the age of 18. But with her only I tried to learn and study and all these. I made my PhD degree and put a great jewel, a crown before my name as a doctor. So that was my dream. I made it true actually. లవ్ రిలేషన్లో టాక్సిక్ రిలేషన్, విషపూరితమైన ప్రేమ, మీరందరూ నేర్చుకోవాల్సింది అదే. ప్రజాస్వామ్యంలో మహిళల భాగస్వామ్యం గురించి మాట్లాడాల్సి వచ్చినప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు జరుగుతున్న పెద్ద యుద్ధం, దాడి అనేది ప్రేమతోనే. ఆ రిలేషన్ ప్రేమలోనే ఉంటుంది. ఒక సఫోకేషన్ అయిన ప్రేమ, ఒక ఊపిరాడని ప్రేమ, ఒక బాధ్యత లేని ప్రేమ, ఒక ఆధారపడే ప్రేమ, ఇవన్నీ కూడా మహిళల్ని బాగా దెబ్బతీస్తూ వస్తున్న వ్యవస్థలు. అమ్మ నువ్వు లేకపోతే నేను ఉండలేను, అమ్మ బోరు కొడుతుంది, అమ్మ నువ్వు లేకపోతే, అమ్మ మాకు వంట ఎట్లమ్మా, అమ్మ నువ్వు వెళ్తే బయట ఎట్లమ్మా, ఇవే మన ఇంట్లో ఉంచే సాధనాలు. అయితే మానవ సజీవ యంత్రాలను సృష్టించే కర్మాగారం ఎప్పుడు మహిళ కాకూడదు. కేవలం మన బిడ్డల్ని పెట్టించే యంత్రాలుగా మాత్రం పుట్టామా, పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నామా, పిల్లల్ని పుట్టించామా, చచ్చామా, ఇది మన బాధ్యత కాదమ్మా. దీనికి అతీతమైన మనం చేయాల్సిన పోరాటం చాలా వేరుగా ఉంది. అది మీరు గమనించండి, ఆ మత్తులోంచి బయటపడండి. మన భాగస్వామ్యం 5 రుణాలు ఉంటాయి. అమ్మా నాన్నల రుణం, మెట్టినిల్లు పుట్టినిల్లు రుణం, సమాజ రుణం అనేది ఎప్పటికీ తీర్చుకోవాల్సిన రుణమే. మన చిన్నప్పుడు స్కూల్ మాస్టర్ గారు, మన స్కూల్కి తీసుకెళ్ళిన ఆటోవాడు, మనకి కాలేజీలో తోటి లెక్చరర్స్, తోటి స్టూడెంట్స్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా రుణాలు. మనం ఒక స్థాయికి వచ్చాక ఆ రుణాలన్నీ కూడా సమాజానికి తిరిగి ఇచ్చేయాలి. లేకపోతే ఏమైపోతాం? లావ్ అయిపోతాం. కాబట్టి మనం తిరిగి రిటర్న్ గిఫ్ట్స్ ఇచ్చేయాల్సిందే.
Women should turn I can't to I can, and they should turn their dreams to reality. అంటే స్పీకర్స్ అందరూ తమ తమ కోణంలో ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ చేశారు. అవకాశాలు ఇవ్వాలి అని. అవకాశాలు ఎవరు ఇవ్వతారు కదండి. ఐఎమ్ ద ఫస్ట్ ఉమెన్ జర్నలిస్ట్ ఇన్ ద బ్రాడ్కాస్ట్ మీడియా ఇన్ ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్. And I was told that women should cover only culture, arts, కుట్టులు, అలికలు, ఇంటా బయట, but women can't cover politics. But I did it and I'm standing before you. And I really am inspired by women from different walks of life. Shobha garu chakkaga chepparu how she spoke in G20. So don't wait for opportunities. I think Achita garu also said, no one is going to give us anything. We have to fight for opportunities, we have to stand erect, and we have to create our own path.